Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.21 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 3.5%. 61,200 plus is Bitcoin's on the move. We're up 2% in the last hour, but 5.8 on the last 24. Ethereum now up 2,300. Tether, 118 billion plus market cap, soon to be 119. USDC is a 35 billion plus market cap. XRP number 7 spot, 59 cents. We're up 4.7 on the 24 and 10.7 on the 7-day. Range of price between 58 and 59 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get started. Bullish survey says 84% of experts are expecting the Fed to cut rates by 0.25%. While futures markets lean toward a larger cut, a soft landing is still anticipated by most respondents. I don't expect that. But nevertheless, I do expect rate cuts. And here we see, if we're going to get them, it may be tomorrow at 2:30. So head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. And just if you don't know and you're new to the space, rate cuts from the Fed usually start to send assets and stuff like crypto parabolic. So in the right direction, we'll say. So we'll keep an eye on what happens. I do want to tell you about this, though. Rising tides lift all boats. We know OpenSea was just recently targeted by the SEC, and they have pledged $5 million to help cover legal fees for NFT artists and developers who receive a Wells notice from the SEC. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we're taking a step further by kicking off the Creator Legal Defense Fund, spearheaded by Stand With Crypto, alongside of OpenSea and A16Z Crypto. Also pledged $1 million to aid this effort. These funds will be dedicated to providing legal expertise for NFT creators and developers. Hello. How many times have I told you I won't talk and push and promote these things because the SEC is so unpredictable about what they're going to do, and actually predictable, right? Regulation by enforcement. So this is why I've decided to abstain from this. I've caught a lot of trash from, a lot of bottom feeders in the community, but nonetheless, some of them are out here selling fake digital land, right? How long before they get a Wells notice? That's what I'm saying. You know, it's like I've taken a lot of chance. I have a huge appetite for risk. That's why I'm in crypto. But I know that there are certain places that I've learned since 2017 being here. I've learned that there are certain things you want to wait to get a decision on before you start to move in it. So I hope that these NFT artists get the kind of funding they need, because it's awful that the SEC has allowed this, the government, the U.S. government itself as collective, has allowed this to happen to innovators, and it must stop. And speaking of that, Cody Carbone, the new president of the Digital Chamber, says this is why the NFT Act is critical. We must pass legislation that makes it clear the SEC does not have authority to regulate the entire digital asset industry. Most NFTs are not even financial products. Yeah, I say let's join Cody and the Digital Chamber in supporting the NFT Act by Representative Timmons. And you can see that here. The Digital Chamber supports the New Frontiers in Technology Act, known as the NFT Act. This proposal is a crucial step in clarifying the regulatory landscape for NFTs and addressing the SEC's overreach. And obviously, Perry Ann, the founder of the Digital Chamber, says, the SEC chair, Gary Gensler's unlawful crackdown on crypto has pushed the industry back by a decade. We can't stand by and let creators and artists be dragged into this chaos. I completely agree. Grateful to Representative Timmons for his leadership in defending the ecosystem, the NFT ecosystem, and putting the bill forward. Let's hope we can get some traction with that and just get Congress in general to take action and provide the clarity that's necessary for the entire industry. Because the UK government last week introduced a new bill to Parliament, which for the first time recognizes digital asset as personal property under British and English and Welsh law. which includes cryptocurrencies, NFTs, which we just talked about, carbon credits, and other assets. So here you have all of this progress happening around the world, and we're still stuck in the quagmire because of Congress. You can blame it on Gary Gensler, but Congress could pass the legislation. It wouldn't matter who was at the SEC. And speaking of who's at the SEC, the full 5-member SEC commission is preparing to testify in front of the Financial Committee. Oh yes, next Tuesday. This will be the first time the whole commission, not just the chair, has testified together since 2019. Gary Gensler himself will testify alone in front of the Senate the day after on Wednesday. New witness list for that actual committee hearing that's going to happen. Michael Liftick, partner of Quinn Manuel, and it says here Dan Gallagher, Chief Legal Officer of Robinhood, Teddy Fuse, President of Bitwise, and you can see the others, Director of Financial Regulation Studies, Centered Monetary and Financial Alternatives, and a lecturing fellow from Duke University. So it could change. We could see an addition of more people, but that's where we're at right now. Now, a little response from Meta Lawman. Shout out to James Murphy here. Wow, all 5 SEC commissioners? What are the odds that Patrick McHenry will ask Gary Gensler one last time whether ETH is a security or a commodity? Or I'd like to see him ask all 5 commissioners and see a dissenting opinion come under testimony from, let's say, Hester Peirce versus Gary Gensler. And wouldn't that argument and dissenting opinion right there show us exactly what has been the problem with regulation by enforcement? Because Gary Gensler is a liar. There is not clarity. However, we can count on Representative Ritchie and I think Byron Donalds and a few others that could throw a few good zingers out during that hearing. And could this be an audition for Hester Peirce's top spot as the chairman at the SEC? You know, I have to say, Hester has certainly made her opinion known and certainly courageous in doing so. But I say, why not bring someone in like Honorable Christian Carlo, who introduced futures contracts when he was the chairman of the CFTC? He understands how to regulate this as well as anyone, if not better than anyone. Why not make him that, keep Hester there, and let's get this done for once and for all. Meanwhile, Donald Trump says crypto is a very powerful market, and he uses NFTs as an example. Take a listen. This was from last night's Twitter space.
There was one thing that got you to see crypto differently. What was it?
If it was what?
One thing that got you to see crypto differently. What was it?
Well, maybe the NFTs. You know, you sort of brought that up because I was surprised again at the percentage of them that were sold through that form. You could do a new form of currency. You could call it anything you want. But that was, I think it was also the level of enthusiasm that my young sons have for this, pretty young guys. I mean, one's extremely young and 2 are pretty young, right? But the level of enthusiasm they have for crypto.
Yeah.
And also just to add a third element, I have a lot of friends, very smart people, some very smart people, and they're believers. So it means something to me.
And there you have it. Now keep listening. We got another clip coming. But it says here, and it suggested that Chris Larson, Ripple chairman, moves 50 million XRP for the first time in 11 years. Oh, are we planning for a liquidity event there, Chris? Just asking for a few of my friends. Here's another good question. Why did Ripple set the video about Bitstamp's plans to launch a derivative exchange to private? Uh-oh. And I went and checked. Remember this video where it explained Ripple and Bitstamp were working and launching their own derivatives exchange in the next few months. So that's something we're most excited about and really hope to cooperate closely with Ripple as well. Well, that's the video. And here you can go and see it's been made private now. Uh-oh. You know what's interesting about this is that we have to remember that obviously Robinhood has bought Bitstamp and they are talking very loudly about bringing derivatives to their platform with that partnership. Ripple is smack dab in the middle of it, and Ripple is also partnered with Uphold, who has also claimed that they're going to be moving heavily into enterprise business so they don't have to keep riding the retail wave up and down, because enterprise and payment solutions are 24/7, 365. I love where we're going here. Meanwhile, Singapore isn't confused about what's going on. DBS is to launch Bitcoin and crypto options trading. Again, the only place we have confusion is because Gary Gensler's here. By the way, Gary Gensler wasn't confused when he was a professor at MIT and people were paying top dollar to have their kids taught. He was teaching them 180 degrees opposite of what he's doing now at the SEC. He's a scumbag. Meanwhile, Kingdom of Bhutan now owns 13,011 Bitcoin worth $780.49 million. Wow. Bhutan is a very small area. But if you remember, another fun fact about Bhutan is their central bank is working with Ripple and the XRP ledger to create their CBDC. Thought you might want to know that too. And we see Ripple, Hedera, and Aptos Labs, founding members of the MiCA Crypto Alliance. As you know, recently this summer, the MiCA regulations for stablecoins were released and put into action. And that was for 27 nations that make up the European Union. Well, now you have this MiCA Crypto Alliance for where Ripple, Hedera, and Aptos Labs have started and are founding members. And this is to make sure everybody stays compliant and above board. This is the right way to approach it, right? Shout out to Hedera, shout out to Aptos Labs, and obviously Ripple as well. You know, what's interesting about all of this for me is seeing this, we have to remember there is a second section to the MiCA regulations for 27 nations of the EU, and that is going into effect in just a few months on December 30th. How about that one? So more to come, and Ripple's smack dab in the middle of it, and I love it. Now, this is a little clip from the same Twitter space last night for Donald Trump that says that crypto really has the chance to be something special. It's very, very young and very growing. I do believe in it. And that is great to hear from someone who may end up being the next president. And in his first 4 years, did not feel this way about this space. So it is welcome. Take a listen.
So why is it not right now?
Well, I think it will be right now. Right now, you have a very hostile SEC. I guess you'd have to say, I don't know, when you say administration, do you call it Biden or do you call it Harris? Nobody really knows what to call it, but maybe we'll say a combination of both. But they've been very hostile toward crypto, toward all of it, and extremely hostile, like nobody can believe. Nobody even understands why. My attitude is different. If we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's doing it anyway.
They are.
But if we don't do it, we're not going to be the biggest, and we have to be the biggest and the best. And, you know, when you look at values, and when you add it all up, the value of this whole thing is bigger than, they were showing me your top 20 corporations and all of this. The numbers are just gigantic. It suffers from some credibility lapses. I mean, some things were done or not done, but it's very young and very growing. And if we don't do it, China's going to do it. If we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. A lot of countries would like to be in a position. We have the advantage because it's us. But you have a big advantage because it's me, because I do believe in it. I also know a lot of friends that are really into it. And my kids, I mean, Barron knows so much about this.
Right.
Eric, and Barron's a young guy, but he knows it. He talks about his wallet. He's got 4 wallets or something, and I'm saying, what is a wallet? Explain this to me. But he knows this stuff inside out, and Eric and Don know it so well.
They do.
It's almost like younger people know it a lot better than older people. But I have a lot of respect for them. They've shown great judgment, all of them. And I think you're onto something. You're onto it a lot sooner than most people. You know, it's sort of like it's a fledgling business, and yet it's a massive business, but it has a chance to really be something special. And when I do things, I notice a lot of crypto comes in. People pay with crypto.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't see that even a year ago, 2 years ago. So I think it's really, it's big, and yet it's a fledgling compared to what it will be.
Compared to what it will be, and I believe it will be not long from now. In fact, taking a look here at the XRP chart from Block Bull, give him a follow. He's got a lot of opportunity over on his channel if you're interested. Look, this is the last couple elections he pointed out here, going back to 2016. Shortly after, we saw an explosion. We know what happened. Then we see in 2020, we went up to $1.90 plus, and then we saw this capitulation and sideways action and this building and building and building and building. And here we are coming up to this election, and we're not far away now, about 49 days away, I think. And what will we see? What will we see? Will we see a repeat of either before these previous election cycles, or will it be something different? And will it be something bigger and different? You know, we have to remember, and I don't say this to be an alarmist or a hypist, but we have to remember we're on the precipice of getting clarity, legislative clarity for the entire industry. We're on the precipice of seeing institutional involvement in this space and taking positions like never before because of that clarity coming to this space. We are about to see the tokenization of real-world assets, which means the entire markets, all the markets that are tradable, being tokenized. That is the next phase we're going into with the onset of legal clarity, legislative clarity. So I'm inclined to think that when that moment hits us, sometime after that is going to look very different in a way that is historical, because there's never been that on the charts before, not for XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other asset. And I am super excited for all of us to see what this market and these charts start to look like after we have all of that as a true reality for our day-to-day. I couldn't be more excited. And I'm glad we're on the journey together. I want to ask you guys to hit the like and subscribe for me if you haven't done it. Please tell somebody about the channel if you know that they're interested in this space. And don't forget, you can join the Freedom Zone for next to nothing. Great way to support the channel. Or you could join the DPMG if you're serious about your investments and what you're doing and where you're going. You need to remember, I know you're busy. We all know you're busy. We're doing so much in here to give you the gap-fill knowledge that you need, whether it's learning how to use XRP Ledger automated market makers, or whether you're trying to open your mind to understand how to maintain, protect, and grow your wealth for your entire family for generations to come. We're doing a case study right now on trust, domestic asset protection, all of that stuff, estate planning. If you're interested in that, you want to grow your mind along with your portfolio. You don't want to have a millionaire portfolio and not have a millionaire mindset. That's a dangerous place to be. Start educating yourself right now. Join the DPMG and get the Freedom Zone for free. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.